Hello everybody and welcome to the 4th Age Total War Dominion of Men. This is a mod based on Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion that is set in Middle-earth in the 4th Age, about a couple hundred years in. This is well after the events of the War of the Ring, and as such, the slate is blank. The possibilities are open for you to do whatever you want in the realm of Middle-earth without worrying about whether it's lore-breaking or not, because technically we don't know a lot about what happened here. However, there is one thing about this that is somewhat troubling to me. This is the Dominion of Men, and yet there's all these elves still around. So we are going to try to rectify that in this Let's Play, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to play as the Kingdom of Adunabar, a cultic rebel faction, an offshoot of the Reunited Kingdom, that is somewhat based in lore, by the way. Tolkien began writing a story called The New Shadow that explored the idea that after the success of the War of the Ring, men would grow tired of peace. They would begin infighting. There would even begin the growth of this new cult. And we've just taken that a step further, assuming that that cult would eventually gain some political power as well and effect a secession or a civil war. So we're going to be playing as the Kingdom of Adunabar. This is a faction that can be extremely difficult to play in campaign, but we're going to be playing them for a single purpose. We're not going to try to win. We're not going to try to keep all this territory and own Gondor. No. We are going to eliminate the elves and the Shire as factions. We're going to keep the dwarves. Dwarves are fine. Don't have a problem with the dwarves. They live in the mountains. They don't bother anybody. They can stay. But we want to make this the Dominion of Men. And as such, we want to have all this territory up here for ourselves. And as for the south, well, we'll see how that's going to go. Adunabar is a very tricky campaign to play. I do have a couple of videos on the channel discussing their options in terms of units in the battlefield and strategic considerations. But we're going to be throwing all of that stuff out the window, or at least a great deal of it, during this run. Instead, we're going to focus single-mindedly on eliminating the Firstborn from the map, getting rid of the hobbits just kind of 'cause, but also making sure that we can eventually secure our position in the north. The south, this is a great place to take. Of course, if you're for real playing the Kingdom of Adunabar, you definitely want to take Minas Anor very early, take Pelargir, move into Arnak, head west until Dol Amroth, and then you've got the Reunited Kingdom on the ropes, and you're in control of some extremely wealthy territory. That's the way to play the game normally. But we're not going to play this game normally. We are instead going to send our troops out of here where they are going to be of some use. All the elven units on the map, all the elven territories, are in the north. They are located, well, north of this position at any rate. We've got some elven settlements here in the southern part of both Lorien and the Greenwood, a couple of other settlements in the northern part of the Greenwood, and then over at the Grey Havens, we've got 3 elven territories here with some very strong units indeed, as we shall shortly see. So what we have to do is focus on getting our troops out where they can do some damage. Now the problem with doing it this way, of course, is that we're losing the option to train some very useful, unique units in this part of the world. But that's just the way it's going to have to be, because if we spent all of our time, training troops down here, fighting a war of attrition with Gondor, we'd never get to our own personal victory conditions, which is to eliminate the elven factions. So what we're going to do instead, move all these troops out. Some of them are going to go north through the through the northern passes of Mordor. This army right around the Sea of Nirn is going to get together and head over into the east. And so we're just going to get them roughly here. And we're also going to see what we can do with the territories that we're leaving behind. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can gift this to Harondor. We're going to give them Emin Arnin. And I think that's all we're going to try today. Maybe in the next turn we're going to give them another province. As soon as we get our troops off of the territory of Carandros and Minas Ithil, and maybe even Austin Agorlad, we're going to get some of this territory kicked over to them. Okay, I think that's everything we can do down here in terms of troop movements. We also have a decent amount of territory in the north. We're going to hold on to this, though. And so I think what I'm going to do here, let's see, let's just lower the taxes for now. I don't want any rebellions. We'll move the capital up here once we've gotten rid of everything in the south. But in the north, we start off with some decent forces. In Rivendell, we have made a good start, let's say. But the mod begins with the assumption that Adunabar has taken over Rivendell. Elrond, of course, is long gone. His sons presumably are gone, so they're not appearing in this mod. The only characters that we know about, like named characters for sure, that remain on the map are Thranduil, who is set up to be the faction leader, and he is over in the Elven King's halls, and Glorfindel, who is a big problem for us, which we may not have to face. We'll see how things go. So we're going to keep these units right here for now, for a couple of turns, and then we're going to take the fight over into the west. The Reunited Kingdom has some territories here. They've got Numinas, and they also have Bree. And the Shire is actually going to become our breadbasket, I think. You know, I have actually never fought the Hobbits in this mod. I've been playing versions of the Fourth Age for decades, but haven't actually gotten around to it. So let's do that. We're going to be losing a ton of money. I know I could be destroying a bunch of buildings and making some of that back, but let's just get it going. Trade rights and map info. Yeah, sure. Let's see if they will actually pay us instead. It's kind of pointless at this point because we're going to be so in debt so fast. But an extra 2,000, sure. Okay. So here's the United Kingdom. Fortunately, they didn't just head across and immediately take Minas Ithil. And so what we can do now is bring our troops up and out of here. And I think that's everybody in Mordor. Everybody is out, or at least the northern part. And folks in the Nirn region are meeting up and just about ready to continue on. All right. Did I lose a family member? Strongest kingdom, large kingdoms. Okay, here we go. I thought we had another family member down here. He's just a little slow to catch up. This is actually a unique bodyguard unit. Nulazir of the Dark Country, Nirn Guard. And now our typical family members are going to be cavalry bodyguards, but this is an armor-piercing, two-handed mace unit. So this will be very helpful as we fight the elves. The problem is there's an expiration date on this guy. When he dies, his unit goes with him, and we can't train him. Not yet, anyway. We'd have to build up this territory, and obviously we're not sticking around to do that. So let's move our rogue, who is acting as... This is an assassin internally, by the way. We just call them rogues in the mod. But we'll just use him as a sort of a makeshift spy. We do have a real spy, though. Let's bring him up to sort of go ahead of our main army. And now I think we can gift some of these territories to Harondor. Let's see if they will take Minas Ithil and Calenhad. And let's just go with that. Okay, they're declining for some reason. So maybe because this is not on their territory, or it's not bordering anything that they have. So that's a shame. But honestly, this is not our problem. So we're gonna move on. Let's see what we can destroy though, really quickly. Probably actually a lot here. And this is just stopping the bleeding. There is no way we are going to be in the black for, I'm going to say, more than 10 turns, and I think that's optimistic, honestly. We're going to be losing tons of cash very soon. But this is going to make it go a little bit further. Maybe if we really feel the need, we can buy some mercenaries on our way. We have to be very intentional about what we're picking up, because again, we do not have the option to train anything. So a unit like this, Blackland Mercenaries, great unit against Elven troops. Not the most useful, honestly. They're good for their staying power, I guess. Great defense, but we're going to need something with better attack, something with a bit of flexibility. So we'll just continue moving these forces around. We don't need to have the troops here anymore. They all fit there. It looks like it. Alright, let's bring you over here. And we're basically just marching these guys north. We are also going to meet them up with these troops, and so we'll get rid of all these buildings too. Alright, and fairly shortly we should be ready to move. Now I think we're in a good position to change our capital. Here we go. That makes everybody up here happy. And we're also going to do something a little controversial, probably doesn't make a lot of sense. We're going to go to low taxes everywhere that we're actually going to keep. This is an attempt to increase my faction leader's authority. Let's take a quick look at him, actually. Alright, he would be down here. There we go, faction leader. Now, authority is a stat that is based on influence in Rome Total War. In the mod, this actually affects lots of things, primarily opinion of liege. That is a trait that every family member has that reflects their opinion of their faction leader. A faction leader with a high authority tends to see other family members with higher opinions of their liege, and that in turn leads to benefits such as command benefits, morale benefits, income benefits. And so if you want to have the most efficient playthrough, you want to aim for high authority. Now there's a bit of a tooltip here that explains roughly what that's about. There are some also some explanations, for example, on this further information button that talks about some of these things. And so there are ways to find out about a bit about these mechanics in the game, but one easy way to increase your faction leader's authority is just to put low taxes everywhere. And so we'll see if that's going to help. I do want to work on the authority, partly because we're not going to have a lot of other advantages in this run. We're going to have to make do with what we have. So the Reunited Kingdom starts with basically just 3 settlements. And they're going to very quickly go after Fornost. If they take it, that's fine. I'm happy to let them spend their money and their men taking it. But this is the easier front by far, the north. So now that we have stabilized public order up here, we can afford to take some of these guys out of the settlements, figure out who might be a good governor versus a good general. And we don't have many to choose from. But here we have one, actually. So Indilzar of the Ettendales. Let's take him, and we can probably get away with a pretty small garrison here. With the weakest unit, let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. So we've just got a unit of Orc Raiders. They can just stay and hold down Rivendell. And we'll move this army off over here. Now we will want to watch this to some extent, because there is a passage down along the, I think it's the Horwell. Or maybe, nope, what is this? Bruinen. Something like that. In any case, this river, alongside it, there's a path that leads down towards around here, around Tharbad, and you can sometimes get attacked up through this channel. So we will have to make sure that that doesn't happen, or just accept the fact that it may, and kind of get on with it. I'm going to take pretty much everybody who is a good fighter out, and instead of having them work as governors here, we're going to get them out and have them doing some fighting. We do have some other low-tier elven units. These Orc Raiders are decent for garrison with only a 60 upkeep and 120 per unit. And we have some nice other units up here, chief among which are Hill Trolls. So this is going to be useful in our wars. We're going to try to hold on to them. We can't train anymore for now. But as we expand in the north, we do have some Orc holds that we can make our own, and we should be able to get more Orcs and Trolls out of there. We do have another Orc Raider unit that we might put up here in Tardal, or possibly down here at Last Bridge. Not quite sure yet. And we do have a settlement down here in Three Ways. This is a pretty wealthy settlement, and it also is kind of a choke point, but it does come under the attentions of Tharbad, who starts right down here. So we don't have a great force here, but to be honest, I think I'll keep what I have there for now. And then I think we'll probably are good to end the turn. Alright, we got some civil revolts happening. That's completely expected. We're looking at losing just shy of 20,000 a turn, so 3 or 4 turns we should be all out. I'm going to ignore this. decline this suitable husband. I would like to hold out for somebody a bit better, but we may change our mind a bit later. Alright, United Kingdom is the largest. And yeah, that's fine. They're probably going to be ending up with a bunch of territory here. Let's try one more shot at gifting some of this land to Harondor before we head out of here completely. Let's get all these units together. Let's see what we might be able to get away with. Sometimes it does require that you actually give the AI money in addition to territory, so I won't be doing that. Give them Karandros and just see if they'll take it. No. Again, I think the AI does prefer to have territory that is contiguous to territory that it already owns. Alright, so now we will have a choice before us, because we have these couple of stacks, and we need to decide exactly what we're going to do with them. Okay, that's 3. Let's actually put these 2 together. And this is 4. Alright, so we can put 3 of them in this stack and then 1 in the other. This family member, I think this is a typical bodyguard unit. Yep, Adunabar nobles. But these longbows are nice. Royal Spearmen are a decent unit. These are some of our few starting non-cultic units that Adunabar begins the game with. We can't train these unless we convert to the ways of the West, which we won't be doing. But we do have some other decent units. We don't have anything that's really fantastic. However, this Catapult of the Shadow Cult, this is going to be what we use, I think, probably to the greatest effect. We'll see how it goes. But I think this is going to be very useful in fighting the elves. We do have some heavy cavalry that should be useful, but we've got to get our family members up north before they start dying of old age, and we just lose the units that they that we're really using them for. Okay, I guess you need to go up here, and now we can fit you. And now we have 2 just about full stacks. We can train a unit in here, and I'm going to go with this. Rovanian Ranger Mercenaries. They're only available in the Brownlands and in just to the east of southern Mirkwood. These guys have some very strong missile attack, and the elves, they do have great bowmen, but they don't have really any skirmishers. So if we get up there quickly, we may be able to overwhelm them with numbers, but also with some of our ranged, and hope that works out. Alright, so we're going to be moving through here. Alright, everybody in this part of the world is moving, and now in the north. Getting a bit closer. I'll just get all of these units together. Let's go with the Orc Raiders down here. We'll get the Orc Band up at Tardal. We should not come under attack here, though, for quite some time. And we can merge these together. Okay, what is that? 4. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that might be annoyingly... yeah, slightly too many. So we'll have to split these up, actually. But that should be fine. We may be able to pick up some mercenaries as we continue. So let's get these troops out. The third settlement that the Reunited Kingdom begins with is this, the Watchtower of Amansul. We, though, are going to ignore this. This is just a fort, and as such, the building and the recruitment options are extremely limited here. So we're just going to pass this on by, and we're going to make our first target as Bree. From there, it'll be a relatively simple matter to head up here. It looks like the Reunited Kingdom does not have Fornost under siege. That's fine. If they do get it, that's also fine, but we're basically going to go Bree and Numinas and then clean up the Watchtower with whatever is left. So is there any building I want to do? I mean, honestly, no. We're not going to be training for a while. Alright, we lost Lavron and basically everything. We lost it all. Okay. Yep. The south is now gone. That's everybody else's problem now. Alright, and we've got our garrisons set up the way we want them. So we're going to continue on into the west. The only thing we want to make sure is that this army doesn't head over here and take these territories in a single turn. I don't think they will, because we're going to be encroaching on their lands, and so that should be fine. No sieges going on at Fornost. Eventually we'll make that ours, but that's fine. We've kept some of these forts. Otherwise, we're good to go. Alright, and here we're seeing Rune. They may be one of the beneficiaries of our abandonment of Mordor. Rune does tend to expand into the east, or into the eastern parts of Mordor, as well as Ravanian. So if we can just stay out of their way, we'll pass on through, and we're going to loop this army around over to the Greenwood, maybe up through the eastern side, and try to hit the northern part of Mirkwood. Nothing looking great in terms of mercenaries there, so that's all set. Got our scout over here, as well as our emissary. All right. Yeah. So, a couple more turns and we're going to be out of cash. The elves are the richest. Harondor is at war with Harad. Okay. I do hope we help them out a little bit. Captain. So, let's bring this army right on by. Do we have room for one? We do have room for a few more units. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring the trolls over with this army. They're going to hit Bree. That has wooden walls. The trolls can bash that down immediately. This army will go ahead and let's just bottle up Amon Sul. We'll build some stuff. But otherwise, we just plan to keep this kind of under siege. What they have in here, this is an interesting bodyguard unit. Actually, no. Okay, they do have another bodyguard unit. This is their basic bodyguard. But they do have a unit of Grey Company somewhere. And, oh, they got a unit right down here. Well, I think this is what I was thinking of. Yeah, this is a Grey Company bodyguard unit. Horse archer. Horse archer with sword as a melee weapon. So a decent unit, but they're not going to do anything here. We are going to definitely be distracting them at Bree. And we're going to keep moving up into the Anduin region. Here's where things split up. We have to decide what army we're setting after what. Amon Lank is a first settlement of the elves here. They've got the heir, which is kind of a problem because he's got 45 elves in his bodyguard unit. This is an extremely tough unit, elven retainers. It's a foot unit, spear and sword, great armor. Look at 67 defense. It's just terrible. 23 attack. All these units have multiple hit points, so it'll be very tough. Now, they do have some of these light elven scouts, which shouldn't be too bad as far as elves go. And Galadrim scouts also fairly lightly defended. And threshold troops are their most basic melee infantry. So if we get here before they start training other stuff, we should be okay. We do have another army over here in Lorien. So I think what I want to do is send my diplomat over here. And we'll see if we can get eyes on that, because I want to make sure that we're choosing the right army for the right job. We're just uncovering cities as we go. Still got Karandros somehow. Alright, and I think everything else is set. Okay, so we're actually getting attacked by this guy. Now, do I want to stick around and fight? The heir. No, you know what? I'm going to back off of that. Alright, going to attack me again. Fair enough. So they've got, let's see. So this is basically the same thing. We've got reinforcements from the settlement. This is their Knights of the White Tree bodyguard unit. They've got some Rangers of the North, some bows, some heavy spearmen. We do have 2 longbowmen ourselves, and we do have some cav, some heavy spearmen, and yeah, a couple different versions of cav. Showing that this is pretty even. Again, this unit, although it is a very interesting unit, I'm not too worried about. We can shoot it down easily enough, and in melee I'm not too concerned, and this is a Kingdom Militia, so let's jump in. First fight of the run. Not against elves, but this is what we have to do at first. We have to carve out a realm for ourselves in the north, get ourselves somewhat secure up here, and then we'll see how it goes. Now, it could be that the armies I'm leading towards the Greenwood are just going to be destroyed. I do not know for sure how that is going to go. It could be very bad indeed. But if that is the case, we will at least see our finances begin to stabilize, as we don't have to worry about all those troops, if they're just gone, of course. Alright, so the settlement is going to be off to my left somewhere. Oh yeah, it's Weathertop, so it's got to be at the top of that large hill. So they're going to be coming from my left. And that's going to be, honestly, the army that I am mostly worried about. So where can I set up over there? Nowhere good. So I guess this is pretty decent, actually. We'll just kind of get up on this hill a little bit, and we'll see. They should be coming from right over there. Yeah, I can just see them coming through the trees. Well, this will be good. We'll get rid of this this family member. So again, these are some non-cultic units. Adunibar has the option of actually repenting of its ways of the Shadow Cult and returning to the ways of the West. And you can do that by destroying all your cultic temples and building ways of the West type buildings in their place. Again, I'm not going to be doing that in this run. We're going to stick with the cult. We're going to eventually aim for being able to train orcs and trolls and so on of our own. Yeah, we already cut down a lot of these guys. Some of the Ways of the West units, though, for Adunibar are very cool, and it's an interesting way to think of the faction. Instead of just being a mustache-twirlingly evil bad guy type of faction, think of them as, you know, having some Dunedainic nobility. Maybe they just had a difference of opinion with the Reunited Kingdom regarding the succession or something like that. So we're actually going to catch them there, but we're also going to get some friendly fire if we don't stop. So let's see. Alright, we're going to stop chasing him because we may have to fight. And he may get away. But as we've seen, that Grey Company is not much of a problem. Okay. Nope, that's fine. It would be better, honestly, if I deal with this force that's approaching. If I can at least cut this down, I'm not going to get the city out of this battle, or the fort, because I don't have it under siege. And even if I eliminate all of these guys, I'm pretty sure that that family member is going to retreat inside the fort. So we will just focus on cutting them down as much as possible. I'm going to aim for the Rangers of the North with my longbows. This is a pretty cool unit as well. Two-handed swords and bows, of course, but they're pretty vulnerable to missile fire. So we're going to be cutting them down fairly quickly, and a cav charge ought to be the end for them. Now this is their heir, so this is a very large unit. Of course, we missed them with our spears, but we're going to catch them with our cav and hope that's going to be enough. So let's switch targets here with our bows, and yeah, we should be okay here. I want to send my swords after their spears. Yeah, we're doing great. King Spearmen are charging into us, though, so let's get these guys out of the way. Oh, is he fleeing? Alright, so here the Rangers are charging out with their swords. They're actually doing a pretty decent job there. I didn't get a good charge on them either. Alright, I imagine we'll get this guy. There goes the general, and let's send them back here. Alright, I think we're good for a charge into the back. And then whatever's coming up that hill, that'll be the Kingdom Militia, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll cut these guys down. There go their spears. And I think this unit has already turned around and decided it's better to run. So there go those guys. I think we'll eliminate this stack. Let's see if we can hit the Kingdom Militia. Actually, you know what? We've got to be pretty careful with our troops. So I'm not going to send them chasing after a militia unit just to have it turn around and cause a bunch of losses. Alright, so they're going to march off, and again, the fort is going to remain in their hands, but they're not going to be able to have as much of a threatening presence there anymore. One family member, some of these militia, that's not a problem. And we're also going to be distracting them by moving towards Bree and eventually up towards the Numenas. So they've got 83 men remaining between those three stacks. That was pretty good. But there will be this very awkward time when we've run out of money and we don't have any way of replenishing it. So we'll have to sort of sack and burn our way through the Anduin Vales, I'm thinking, and hope that that makes up the difference, and that we lose enough troops to kind of get us solvent again. Okay, so they do have a small presence in the fort. There's that family member. The militia are probably with him, and they've got some more militia too. Again, not much of a problem. Let's see if this army is going to do anything. Nope. Okay. So, this is the last turn where we will have money. It may make sense to buy everything. I think these mercenaries are a good buy, if only for garrison duty. These guys maybe less so. But you know what? Let's do it. We're never going to be able to do this again. So let's do that. We will go ahead and build some stuff for siege, theoretically, and I guess we get another merc unit of cav available immediately, which is great. Let's see. What are we doing there? So they're sending down these troops from Numenas, which again is very lightly held. So we take Bree this turn as we could. Then we will be able to well, we'll be able to start making perhaps a bit of money. I mean, again, will at least hurt some of the bleeding. And then we'll be able to head straight for Numeness, and then at that point, we've basically cleared the north. We have to worry about Tharbad, but other than that, we're in a great position. We can eventually head down and take Tharbad ourselves for an excellent choke point. We've got Rivendell for another choke point. We could take the High Pass Stronghold for a third, or at least last bridge, and essentially we're walled off. So this is a pretty good situation for us to be in. Let's just keep moving our troops around. And no mercenaries yet, and that's unfortunate because we're just not going to, we're not going to see them. All right, so what is the more dangerous force? We've only got 2 units in Karas Galadon that I can tell. And we've got 5 units here. So I think, not mentioning the air. So I think what we want to do is take this force over into Karas Galadon, and this force up to Amon Lank. There are mercenaries here, but they're just woodmen, and so they're not very useful. These forces are meant to be on the run, so they're not sticking around. We're not going to be garrisoning any of these places or holding them. We are just going to take them, eliminate them, and move on. So, do I want to go for Bree, or do I want to bypass it? Because this is actually pretty weak, to be honest. And they can't train very much, and I'm distracting them here. And I've got 3 ways. Yeah, you know, maybe heading straight for a Numeness is what I want to do instead. Because they can train somewhat useful troops out of here. They can train swordsmen, of course militia they can train, but that's not so great. Rhydor hunters, these are bowmen. So this might make more sense to take. Bree we can get later. Not worried about that. All right, a competent commander. I think I'm going to take him. So this is Last Bridge. This is our capital. I'm going to move him over with this smaller group. He's not going to have the movement points to get over there, but we're going to take Amon Sul and then move on towards Bree. But what I can do now is grab a Numeness. Alright, something like that. They do have some King's Longbowmen. They've got some King's Spearmen and, of course, a family member. A couple of swords, nothing too threatening, so we'll be able to move into that next turn. And I'm now wondering if these trolls would be better down with this smaller army. So maybe after we take this, I will move them over there. But as you can see now, we are in the negative, and this is just going to keep going. I wonder how far down it's going to go. Are we going to hit negative 1 million? All right. Now, I could just take Fairfeld and move through, but I want to retain all these troops. And I know I would take, you know, just some losses here. But again, we're not able to make those losses good anymore. So they've got an army outside the settlements. So still just 5 units here. See, the population is so low in these elven settlements that they can't train that much. So that's going to be our saving grace. We have, at this point, we've got a lot of numbers, and we're in a pretty good space. All right, so I think what we have to do now is take Amon Sul. Alright, so here is a Dunedainic style fort. Now, a lot of these forts have kind of a weak point. And for this one, it is right here. They may possibly have some men on the walls, but I think they don't. So let's actually, you can drop that, and the longbowmen can do it. Do they have any archers in there? Well, yeah, they kind of do, the Grey Company. But we'll get them on the walls, and I think that'll be fine.
Our siege towers have reached the walls. Now there will be hard fighting to break the defenses.
So what we're going to want to do, of course, is grab the towers and get our archers right up there. And they're marching away from us, which is nice. I think we outrange them. Let's bring our other longbowmen forward. Yeah, let's focus on that Grey Company. All right. Just one left, and this really ought to finish him off, I would think. Yep. All right, and now it's just the Kingdom Militia. And they're just going to stand there and take it. The AI does not do a great job of defending these forts, unfortunately. But it's best to get in there and take care of them, and then we can start making use of the facilities ourselves. Again, there's not a lot to do. These are mostly just a strategic choke point in some cases, or in this case, it's like a, you know, an existing structure, of course. And taking it means that that now the AI is going to want to try to take it back. You know, there's no point really in destroying the population here. So we're going to lower the taxes again. That will eventually give it some time to grow. We can build a local trader here. It's going to improve the farm income and trading and so on. And we can eventually train some kind of militia units out of these forts. So that'll be something for the long run. We're not going to be able to do that for a very long time. I can see Tharbad is already expanding, and so we can expect an attack from them fairly soon. That's why it would be nice to get Numinas finished before we do anything else.
Captain.
All right, Alliance Trade Rights Map. Yes, let's do it. Having allies is also another way to increase your faction leader's authority stat. I'm guessing mine's is extremely low right now. Yeah, I'll take your map info. Sure. We can't ally with them. They are at war with our ally Harad. Okay. So now, I think we are able to have our first battle against the elves in the run. And so I think this will be a great way for us to finish off this first episode of Dominion of Men. We can see now inside Karas Galadon we have a unit of Galadrim warriors. I think there's a family member in here as well. This is a pretty tough unit. But I think we can handle it. We've got some longbows, some other archers, some good sword infantry, some good intimidating cultic spears, and some family members. All of them are heavy cav. I think we can handle that. But first, we want to handle this. All right, so they're going to have the city show up as reinforcements. We're attacking them. Outside the settlement, they're going to have these elven scouts. This is a horse archer unit and their threshold troops, basic militia spears. Rumil of the Knife. This is their faction heir, and he did train another unit, Sylvan Axes. So good that we got here when we did. The balance of power bar is about 50% odds, and we're going to see how this goes. It is slightly in our favor, and so hopefully with the catapults we have, we can make this a success. Now, the thing about fighting the elves is that they all get combat bonuses in the woods, and their territory, of course, is the woods, so we'll always be fighting them in the woods, so they'll always be getting combat bonuses, in addition to being already ridiculous. So, it's going to be tricky, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. The other thing about that is that our siege weapons cannot move into the woods. So if I were to try to put them back here, I can't. That means that if I deploy here with them, the elves may set up, oh, I don't know, way back here. And our siege weapons are going to be kind of useless. So what I think I want to do is bring them over, like, to this side. So maybe we can get up on top of that rocky hill. Can I move you at all? No, I can't. I'm too much in the woods, apparently, already. Well, okay. That's not good. We're gonna have to, like, fight this fair or something. Okay, they're moving. I just couldn't deploy them. Alright, but they're actually up here. They're way up here. Okay. Yeah, I can't get my siege weapons through that, unfortunately. So we are kind of stuck. Well, actually, could we get up around here? No. And anyway, that's kind of a dead end. All right. Let's bring them at least over here and see if we can shoot through the woods. So here they come, and they're going to be meeting up with this force. I'm going to go, like, here. We're going to get the high ground from them, potentially. And they do have a unit hidden somewhere. Probably right around here. Okay, they're coming down. And I'm almost close enough to hit them, but not quite. Alright, now we are, but we're probably going to miss. But they are standing, so that could be good. Oh, nice. That's what we have to do. Alright, they're charging in with their horse archers, and that's going to actually be really bad. Yeah. Alright, we did a good number on them, though, with our Shadow Guard and Shadow Riders. Only 2 of them left. Alright, I think I want to... I'd love to be able to switch targets. I don't know if I can, though. Let's move them up here. A little bit closer to the enemy, and we're just about to the point where we are... eliminated that unit. Horse archers, and these guys are... Let's see, there's 20 left. Alright, let's get the swords in. And let's get these guys out. We need to keep charging. Alright, there's 9 of them left. Once they form up, we can do another charge, and they've got, let's see, Threshold troops, that is a fairly low attack unit, relatively speaking. Alright, if I could hit the Elven Retainers, that would be great. Alright, now get this cav out of here. We've got that unit eliminated. Can I get any closer? Nope. Alright, we can at least aim at the Elven Retainers. We can kind of take our time now. Hopefully they stay put for a little while. We can get a shot or two in, but may not. No more bows, though. That's fantastic. Yep. Oh, did we get him? We got him. Why did I get 2 enemy commanders? Oh, that's right. They were both... Okay, great. That's what we needed. That's a family member down. Even if we lose this battle, this unit is now gone. Oh, that is so good. So we're going to keep aiming at him. And this is so good. I wish I had 3 of these. All right. Let's hit the threshold troops. They're going to be winning. With the general gone, they're routing. Okay. That's great. Let's pull them back again. Swords of the Shadow doing quite well here. Sylvan Axes, I think this is a tier 2 melee unit. Let's rush them out. Grim Spears. We're going to hit them. Let's get the bodyguard out and around. Okay, we've now hit them. Okay, stop. Stop that. Okay, let's hit the Sylvan Axes. Very nice. Hit this unit in the back, and actually I think we might be able to charge and break this Elven Retainers unit. A fantastic looking unit. One of my favorite in the mod, actually. Alright, let's not get any of our guys killed by friendly fire. We'll let the arrows deal with the rest of that. So we'll charge in and see if we can take out the rest of those Retainers. There goes the rest of the Elven Scouts. We do have a bit of light cav here, so we'll send them just in case these guys have a hard time shooting down those fleeing Sylvan Axes. Okay, there goes the Elven Retainers unit. Nowhere to run. Yeah, let's continue. Well, our first battle has been a success. Better than I expected, actually. Alright, let's hit them. They're going to get away with a few, but they're not going to get back to the city. I think this means we have Amenduir, or what is it? Amon Lank, rather. And that's 1 Elven settlement gone out of a total of 7. Alright, clear victory. We lost, let's see, only... let's see, over 100, but that's not too bad. And there it is. I'm on Lank. We're going to, let's see, can we get it on this turn? Yes, we can. Great. We're going to lay desolate, but there's basically nothing to be gained from taking this for ourselves. Now, if we were to build this up, let's see, what would we get? We get some woodman levies at tier 1, bow levies at tier 2. We get some cultic recruitment eventually, but this is not going to be a great recruitment place for us in any case. This is a kind of a ranger type unit, so that would be kind of interesting to get, but we just don't get our best stuff here for sure. You know, dark bows are nice, but yeah, this would be kind of a tough one to hold, and we're definitely not going to do that. We're going to destroy the Elven Dominion here. We're going to destroy the Elven Patronage and the Mustering Fields and the Hall of Mirth, and there we go. So, Amonlank is under our belt. We have taken back Dol Guldur, and you know what? We're going to leave it for whoever wants it. This is going to rebel to just a rebel faction. We may as well crank up the taxes to very high. And then we're going to continue on into the North, folks. So this is an auspicious start to our campaign here. We've taken 1 out of 6. We got 1, 2, and 3 more to go around the eastern part of Middle-earth, and then we're getting into a good position to move into the west. So thank you very much for joining me on this first episode of what I'm calling Dominion of Men and Some Orcs. And I hope you'll check me out on the next one. Until then, take care, everybody.